Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and boy does it feel good to be reviewing Halo product again. This is the 1000 Toys Re-Edit Halo Infinite 1/12 scale Master Chief Mjolnir Mark 6 Gen 3 figure. This is a standard release. This does not come with the special weapons. I will be reviewing that in the future. This is just the one that your average person is going to try to attain, probably. It doesn't come with the banished sword or whatever it is, the red sword and the other weapon. We'll get to the accessories, but I'm just letting you know it's a standard issue, standard release Master Chief from Halo Infinite, and I will be reviewing either yesterday or tomorrow, depending on when you're watching this, if you're watching it on release or whatever, around Halo's launch, the Jazzwares of the same guy, the Jazzwares figure of the same Master Chief. So this figure has a lot of stuff going on. Most of it is awesome. There is some stuff that's not so great. We're going to talk about all of it so you guys have all the information you need to decide if you want to spend your hard-earned money on this. It's not a cheap figure. It's like $130 or something like that. I don't remember, but it's a lot. And so I'm going to give you all the information you need. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands just shy of 18 centimeters. That's with his head kind of tucked down a little bit, but it's not going to really get him that much different of a measurement. Yeah, it's just about 18 centimeters to the very top of his head. And that's going to make him just above 7, like 7 1/8 inches. So let's do a quick comparison just for those of you who are not trying to spend $130, but you still want to watch the review. This is the Jazzwares one that costs $20. And it's a little bit bigger, a little bit more sturdy, but again, you're getting a $20 figure, so I'm not going to make any direct comparisons other than it does have a chrome visor, and it's a little bit bigger. More paint on it, I suppose. Technically, it's not more paint, but it has the dry brushing. But there you go. Okay, so you can check that review out there. That is the Series 1 Master Chief. I did also review the newest one, which is the Series 3, newest that I've attained anyway. And again, that'll be up there as well after I've published both. It depends which way I publish these. One of them's going up on Tuesday, one's going up on Wednesday for Halo's launch. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a quick question of the day. Let's just keep it basic. Which version of Master Chief is your favorite? I love the Infinite design a whole lot. Prior to that, I'm going to go see Halo 3, then I'm going to go Halo 4, then I'm going to go Halo 1. Okay, let me know in the comment section below. All right, let's talk about the aesthetics on this guy. First thing, very most important thing is the visor is not chrome. It is gold painted with clear plastic on top. It gives it a really nice look. However, the clear plastic has an almost matte finish, a frosty type finish, which does keep it from looking especially shiny. I would definitely have preferred they done vacuum chrome gold. And this isn't even that. This isn't even vacuum chrome gold. Or if it is, it's super cheap version. It's just the reflective nature of the visor is so much better looking than a non-reflective one. This one looks excellent. It's awesome, but it's not reflective at all. I mean, everything is somewhat reflective. You know what I mean? It doesn't have that mirror finish in any way, shape, or form. Still looks good. All the detail work, while we're zoomed in tight, all the detail work on this guy is phenomenal. It's got lots of paint on there, lots of detail work. You can see the little vents, the buckles, the lights on the helmet, the 117. They really did a subtle job for the scratches on the chest. I like that. However, they did dirty Chief up a lot since this figure was produced. In-game, he's not going to look anywhere near this clean, even though he did originally. So, I don't know how I feel about that. I guess I'd rather have a clean one than a dirty one. Maybe they'll do a dirty version. That's not, you know what I mean. Anyway, it's painted really, really well. All the little details in there are just exquisite. Very, very nicely done. I love the way this looks. The level of finish is top-notch, but the armor is a matte finish. It is not metallic in any way. So that is something to consider. This does match the original trailer they showed. That was it, Discover Hope or something like that. I don't know. The one where they first showed Chief's new armor, like up, whatever, when the guy found him. This matches that pretty well. So I would like to see one that's maybe slightly more metallic, slightly darker, and kind of beat up. I'd buy another one for the different paint job. You hear that, 1000 Toys? Give me another paint job, I'll buy it. But if you want to send me a review sample, that'd be cool too. I'm never going to get a review sample. Oh well. Okay, so it looks great. Fantastic. Aesthetically speaking, it's gorgeous. My only real gripe on this guy is the way they did the shoulder pads. They stick out a bit too much. they don't look quite right. He looks like he's coming out of Destiny with some big old Titan shoulders on there. I think, now I know his shoulder pads do stick out a lot in the new game, the new armor look. I think this one's flexed right now. If you just look at this one, the way they did it, that's pretty good. I think that's about right. It does stick out, it does stick up, but it does cup over the shoulder more. And these things, while they do cup the shoulder, I don't know how well you can see that, it's all black basically. I think if it just cupped a little bit more and it's just scooted in just a bit, that would be good. Because as it is, they do look a little bit weird in a neutral pose if you're looking square on. But once you pose him or look at him at an angle, it doesn't stand out too much. But that's fine. I was worried his head was going to be too small, and maybe it is slightly, but it's not too bad. You can see, I'm just using this for comparison. This one's head is slightly bigger relative to the rest of the body. I think that looks closer to the source material, but it's not that much of a difference, so I don't mind that. So yeah, I think it looks really good aesthetically speaking. I'm going to go 9 out of 10. It matches the source material they had at the time. It doesn't match the source material now. That is not their fault. I can't complain about that. Okay, let's talk accessories. This guy has the 2 fist hands that come out in the package. He has 2 trigger finger hands, 2 saluting hands, 2 sword holding or clenchy hands if you don't want him to hold the sword, and then 2 kind of secondary / relaxed hands, all very nicely sculpted. That's good. We do get the AR, which is a very well detailed accessory. I love the way they put this together. The only thing it's missing is the readout on the screen, so that's pretty cool. We do have the new shotgun, which is blah, but whatever. It's called the Bulldog, I think. It's pretty well done. They did a good job with the paints and everything. Is it supposed to be that color? I don't know. I did play the multiplayer a little bit, but it's not that fun for me because the progression system sucks. But anyway, and then they did give you the sword, which is very nicely detailed. It's glossy. It doesn't have anything supporting the 2 pieces other than the hilt, which is awesome. Very nicely executed. Love the way they did the sword, and he holds it well, so that's excellent. And that is it. There's no display stand. There's no nothing else. So, a grenade maybe, a pistol. Like, I think the AR and the sidearm would have been good. The sidekick, the pistol would have been nice in addition to the shotgun and the sword. And it wouldn't have cost them much. I don't know. Maybe they maxed out their budget. I can't complain, but I would have liked a little bit more, I think. It's still a good... I'll give it an 8 out of 10 for accessories. 3 weapons, a bunch of hands. I'll take it, but I would like more. It is a game based on weapons, so some weapons would be nice. Some more weapons. Okay, let's go ahead and do the articulation on this guy. We have ball pegs going on. We have hinges going on. I'll just show you how it functions rather than trying to disassemble it. He can look all the way up. He can look all the way down. The head moves, the neck moves. It rotates. Obviously, the armor is going to get in the way. That's just the nature of bulky helmets and armor. But you're going to be able to do the Master Chief poses that you need to be able to do. So you can lean the head a little bit for a little bit of attitude if you want to pose him that way. You can do it. It's very well done. I don't think you could actually get more out of it no matter how you engineered it, because you have these armor plates up next to the head and you have his chunky head helmet. So, you know, that's the way it goes. But you can give him a little attitude if you want. Okay, for the shoulders, we do get a butterfly joint, which is functional enough. It's fine. It doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look bad. It's all right. You do get a little bit of disconnection, especially with these shoulder pads sticking out. It looks like the arm's not quite connected as much as it should be, but it's functional, so I can't complain about it. You do get your full rotation. Be careful of this little lip right here, because the arm has to go around that. So be careful when you're doing that. You don't want to grind it probably, but you do get your rotation out of it. That's fine. You do get bicep swivel also. It's very minimal, but you do get it, and that does help. And the cool thing is you also get elbow swivel. So you can rotate the elbow, which is something that's important because he's got the bulky chest armor and he's got the bulky arm armor. So when you bring the arm around the chest, the bicep swivel wouldn't help him anyway. So you need that elbow swivel, which is a very good thing that they implemented that. I love that they did that. That's thinking ahead. That's not just, well, it's limited because of armor and we're lazy. No, they did a good job with that. Elbow gets a little janky because it's extended. Like, it doesn't extend, but the way this bends and this bends, it does look extended. But they had to do that to give you the range. And you do get the range going around the armor. He can bend his elbow in very nicely. And if you're not looking from the back, it looks good. So I like that. They've definitely thought about the articulation in a very smart way. I already showed you these hinge, by the way, so I didn't do it again, but I will. Those do hinge. They get out of the way. They're fairly loose. They won't flop unless you're like trying to flop them. But that's good because they won't get in the way when you're posing as much. So that's good. I didn't show you that though, did I? Raising the arm up. It does go horizontal, but the shoulder pad will get in the way, but you can kind of hide it, so that's fine. I think that's good. They did a really good job with the articulation overall on this guy. For the wrists, we have ball hinges. They're very tiny ball hinges. They don't have a ton of range. I think they could have squeaked out a little bit of a bigger ball for the hinge part, not for the cap or for the peg, but it still works. You can still get him to hold his pistol or hold his weapons well, and there's not too much gapping and you get good range out of it, so I'm fine with that. So for the torso, you have 3 separate joints. You have the lower waist one that's hidden by the belt here. You have one that's underneath the rib cage of the armor. This green part is a separate piece from the top, so you have that one. And then you have another one just under the rib cage inside the black parts. So I'll show you how they all function as best as I can, hopefully. So the green rib cage, the main armor one that you would expect to see, that one rotates. It leans forward and back some. It has lean this way. It seems like it's just a single ball peg. Then this other one that happens underneath, it includes this green part and some of the black. That seems to be just a vertical hinge that leans forward and back, which is nice. That gives you good range. It gets a little weird looking back here. I don't know why they did that, but it does have good range forward and back. Could be a little tighter, but it's fine. And then the one down here hidden by the belt is a rotation. Doesn't do anything else. So between those 3, it should be enough. It could be more. I think they overcomplicated it a little bit. I think if you just take the upper green part and make that a really functional double ball peg, that would be great, and then add the waist twist, and that's all you really need. But this hinge is fine, but I think you are more limited than you need to be up at the top part. But it still works well enough, and Halo doesn't have to pose that much while he's shooting aliens. Some of you will get that joke. So a cool thing about this is we do have these guys that flip up like that, and that does allow for the hips to move nicely. So that's pretty cool. So we're going to leave those there. Let's get the arm out of the way. We'll bring the hip out to the side. It doesn't do full-on splits, but they go pretty far out to the side, and as you can see, we have no dangly bits in the crotch, so that's good. It's very nice and seamless, as much as it can be, so I like that a whole bunch. You do get your rotation here. You have to turn the thigh a little bit as you do it to keep it looking good, but they did a very good job of giving him like the right human anatomy while posing him. They did a really, really good job with this. Yes, these look a little weird going up like that, but what are you going to do? It's armor. You need to be able to do it. They can't just clip things together like in a video game, so I think that's nice. I like it. You do get your thigh swivel here. Is there any other range there? It's just the hinge. There's no like ball peg or anything. That's still really good. I think that's as much as you could hope for. I'm very pleased with it. For the knee, you have a double jointed knee, and then you also can do that. This is on a separate hinge, so you can kind of just keep that tucked in. I think that's pretty good. You do get a lot of moving parts on this guy that I'm not going to cover every single one because it doesn't matter. But like back here, this is a separate panel that moves when you bend the knee. It just helps it to function properly. See how that slides in? Like I don't need to talk about those because it's not a feature per se. It just allows the articulation to work. But his knees, they're not the best looking knees ever, but they're good enough. Like it, I don't know what you could do to make them that much better. So I'm okay with that. It's fine. Yeah, that's all right. I do have an issue where both of my knee pads are kind of crooked and they're screwed on and it's a little bit weird. This one's very strangely crooked. This one is going in the same direction crooked. I don't know what's up with that. I'm gonna have to try to take it apart and see what's going on. It feels like this is twisted somehow. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. But either way, the knees work pretty well. And then for the ankles, you do get a plate back here that moves a little bit. I don't know if that's intentional or not. It kind of feels like it's not meant to, but it does. And you can tuck the foot in a little bit that way to bring it down. Bringing the foot forward does feel limited more than I would like, but it's very limited. Actually, let's see. Yeah, that's very limited. I would definitely want more range out of the ankle. Like you get technically a decent amount of range, but not enough to really do anything. Luckily, we do have a toe hinge, and the toe hinge works pretty well, so that's fine. It's not as good at looking a toe hinge as even this one. So you can see how there's like a big gap there. It just doesn't need to be. I don't know why toe hinges are so difficult for so many companies. But if you look at this one, no big gap. So, I don't know. Toe hinge could definitely be better. Ankle could definitely be better. How's the ankle rocker on this? Ankle rocker is pretty good. It feels like a ball peg in there. Yeah, okay. So we have a ball peg at the bottom. It just popped off. And a ball peg at the top of the ankle. Very interesting. So that gives you your ankle rocker right there. That rotates on that. And that works nicely. And you do have some play inside the shin part of the ankle as well. But it's still very limited in the ankles. So running and gunning poses is going to be it. Probably no Spider-Man poses for this Master Chief. So that was a long bit of articulation explanation on this guy, but there's kind of a lot going on here, and a lot of you are probably interested in the technical look at it because it's so expensive and because it's a new figure. But most of it works pretty well, I'd say. I think it's good. I enjoyed posing it a lot when I was messing around with it earlier. And yeah, the ankles could be better, and the shoulders could look better, but all in all, the torso could be better. But all in all, it's pretty darn good. I'm happy with it. I think they could do better if they give us more versions of Master Chief, like a Halo 4 version or a good Halo 1 version or a Halo 2 version, Halo 3, whatever. I think they can kind of iterate on these different looks, or on these different pieces of articulation for the different looks, but I'm still very, very satisfied with it. So I'm going to give the articulation an 8 out of 10. Most of it is really well thought out and very well executed, so I'm very pleased with it, but we do have those few hang-ups here and there. Now, the last thing I'm going to mention before we get into the final verdict, probably should have done this with accessories, is he does have a place to hold his guns in here on either side. These little gray things tab off, and you can peg the gun in there. That's not where the guns are meant to connect. They don't usually connect right in the center when you look at his back. They're kind of over here. They definitely aren't all the way over here, so that's a little bit strange. Don't love that. I probably won't use it unless it somehow looks okay from the front, if I can like finagle it, but these little gray things pop off and you can store the guns there. And then also in the legs, you can slide that down and you get a little storage peg. Slide that up and it hides it, and then the weapons just have little pegs on them. So yeah, it's a very well thought out figure. I'm very pleased with it. Is it the best Master Chief figure ever per dollar? I don't know, because it's very expensive. It is a really good figure though, and I'm gonna let you guys just decide for yourself if it's the best or not. It is a very expensive 7-inch figure. So I'm personally okay with it. I like it a whole lot. I'm gonna give it a final verdict of 9 out of 10. It's a really good release. It does have flaws, but it is a very good release. It's very well painted, very well sculpted, and for the most part, very well engineered, and has a good batch of accessories. I look forward to seeing what else they can do with the Halo line, but as of right now, I am a satisfied customer as a person and also as a reviewer, because reviewers aren't people. You know what I mean, as a collector. I like it. I think you guys will be too. Let me know how you feel about the figure in the comment section below. Let me know how you feel about the video by giving it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Yes, those still do matter, even though you can't see the numbers. And if you haven't subscribed, you might want to. I have new videos almost every single day, and thousands already on the channel, so make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.